Breaking tonight. The Bears stop asking for permission to play big on the outside and start acting like a team that builds January with choices, not wishes. I'm bringing you a clean, inside-out look at one move that would harden our secondary for the stretch without touching the core. Here's what you'll get from me before the reveal. What our coverage shell actually needs in late-season football, how the league sees the cornerback market 2 weeks from the deadline, the trait profile of the target I've been tracking, how the money and picks work so we don't mortgage 2026, and exactly how the rotation snaps get redistributed the second this player walks into Halas Hall. If you want grown-up reporting, tape first, cap second, zero fluff. Stay with me because this is the kind of decision that turns tight fourth quarters into professional closeouts. Start with identity. Under pressure, we've tightened our structure with clearer rules at the top of routes and fewer gifts in the red zone. But when offenses stack strong side releases and force our corners to live on an island, we still need more length and recovery speed to erase first reads without calling for help. That's the difference between calling a perfect coverage and surviving an imperfect rep. It's the difference between a field goal and a touchdown when everybody in the stadium knows where the ball is going. The winter version of the NFC is matchup football, long bodies, late hands, no panic, then rally and tackle. To live there every Sunday, I want a boundary corner with skyscraper length, sub 4.3 legs, and the stride control to carry speed routes without grabbing. A guy who lets you play top-down on one side and cheat help to the other. A guy who forces quarterbacks to come off their first picture and eat clock. Zoom out to the market. Corners don't move often in October unless there's a scheme pivot or a depth squeeze, and that's exactly what's brewing out west. League execs have a specific name circled. They've been open about it. New staff, different menu, and a player whose best tool, true man coverage length and speed, hasn't been maximized in a system trending toward more pattern-match structure. The buzz isn't smoke. It's respectful shop talk with a real percentage attached. That matters because you don't waste locker room goodwill chasing fantasy. Tape before name always. The profile is outrageous. 6'4" frame that swallows throwing windows, elite runway speed that deletes separation even when the release loses half a step, and ball production that proves this isn't just a workout warrior. We're talking double-digit interceptions and 30-plus pass breakups in the first 4 seasons, which tells you he finds the football without being handsy and has the wingspan to finish plays most corners-only contest. The warts are honest and coachable. Inconsistent strike timing at the catch point when he overreads the quarterback's eyes, a few tackle whiffs when he comes in too tall, and the occasional eye discipline lapse versus bunch in motion. You accept those if the upside is a coverage lid that travels from September to January. In our room with clear leverage rules and a demand for inside hand, outside hip, you clean a lot of that fast. Now, how does he fit the Bears you and I watch every week? Picture the boundary with our top corner locking aside in mixed coverages, Riq Stevenson as the heavy hands tone setter on the other, and a true track speed eraser who lets us toggle between press man and 3-match without changing personnel. On 3rd and 7, we can show 2 high shell, spin late, play solo on the backside with length at the line, and keep a safety leaning to the trips. In the red zone, we put this corner's arms at the goal line and challenge fades without grabbing. Outside the numbers, his recovery speed lets us call more late rotations and green dog pressure from the second level because we trust the back shoulder to be contested. Add the nickel room we've stabilized with pros who know how to overlap, and suddenly the weak side slant that used to be a layup is a seed of doubt. This is how you win February football. Suffocate first reads, force second reads into muddy pockets, and make offenses settle. Money and picks clean and adult. The cornerback I'm circling is still on his rookie contract, which means a tiny cap number now, maximum flexibility later, and a decision window we control. Extension talks in the offseason at a number that respects his ball production or a 1-year look with a tag option if we need more runway. That gives the front office leverage and protects the rest of the roster. Compensation is not a first-rounder conversation unless a bidding war starts. This is mid-round capital with a condition tied to playtime or team performance, plus maybe a later sweetener if the market heats up. You protect premium picks, keep the board for April, and still buy a real upgrade. The football return is immediate. Safer solo calls, fewer emergency doubles, and more freedom for the front to attack protections. If you're asking about snap math, I'll spell it out. Base downs. Our incumbent outside corner stays on WR1 as the plan dictates. The newcomer takes WR2 and erases early slants, speed outs, and the glance game that has been stealing chain-moving yards. In nickel, Stevenson can bully big slots or stay outside depending on the matchup. C.J. Gardner-Johnson's presence at nickel or dime gives us a turnover hunter who thrives when quarterbacks hold the ball a half beat longer. When Kyler Gordon is fully right, we've got 3 starting caliber outside corners, plus a nickel who talks and drives like a safety. Suddenly, the room becomes a weekly game plan weapon instead of a patch. This is not about demotion. It's about flexibility. Short yardage? Press, walk up, dare the throw. Our guy's length takes the glance away and turns the red line into a wall. 2-minute? Play inside leverage, funnel to help, and let the rush finish. Special teams bonus, long corners who run like wideouts steal field position on punt and kickoff phases, and in January that matters more than anyone admits. Let's turn the card because you've earned the name. I'm talking about Riq Woolen of the Seattle Seahawks. A 4th-year pro with skyscraper measurables and verified production who multiple executives expect to be squarely in trade conversations before the deadline. The chatter is that he fits best where man traits are prized. That's us, because we can tilt to more press man on money downs without losing the pattern match structure that has cleaned our explosives. You want numbers? His ball resume reads like a corner who finds tips and steals routes, not just one who survives them. 11 interceptions, 30 pass breakups, speed that makes bad throws look worse. You want honesty? Tackling consistency has to improve and the eyes must quiet versus stacks in motion. Good, our staff demands it and our veterans model it. This is exactly the kind of player who jumps a tier in a building that drills rules all week and lets athletes play fast on Sunday. If you're worried about the cost to the room, I'll tell you what I've heard and seen. Premium corners don't make other corners smaller. They make the call sheet bigger. Jalen Johnson keeps leading, Stevenson keeps setting the tone, and Woolen gives us permission to live in matchups instead of coverages. The downstream effect is huge. Safeties can sit on tendencies, linebackers get cleaner hook drops, and the pass rush gains a half second because quarterbacks double clutch. That's how you stack stops in the 4th when everybody is tired. Cap risk? Minimal now. Decision control later. Extension if it's love, tag if it's one more look, comp pick if it's a handshake. Trade risk? Manageable. Mid-round currency with conditions, not a franchise ransom. Football risk? You coach the tackling and the eye discipline every day. You don't coach 6'4" with jet fuel. Give me the tools. We'll give him the rules. I'll land the plane where a Bears channel should. Scoreboard math. One possession flips 3 different ways with this move. First, 3rd and medium conversions drop because the slant out menu isn't a free 6 yards when we're soloed outside. Second, red zone fades stop being coin flips because length and timing turn them into contested swats. Third, takeaway expectancy rises because long corners who arrive on time tip balls to teammates. Sudden fields become cheap points. Stack that across 6 games and you're talking seeding, not just vibes. Before I close, I want your voice because this show loves informed fans. Would you spend a conditional mid-round pick to bring Riq Woolen to Chicago now, betting on elite traits, coaching up the tackling and leaning into more man-on-money downs? Or would you hold the capital and trust internal growth only? Drop your package below. Tell me your role plan for Stevenson and the nickel mix, and give me your closing 5 in a must-have series. I'll read every single one. If you're here for this level of reporting, tape, cap, and the truth we can defend on Monday, subscribe to Bears News Fan Report, turn alerts on, and ride with me through the deadline. We'll keep it tight, sober, and ambitious, the way this city deserves.